Hey, what's up, guys? It's Renaldo here. So, this video is going to focus on how our president, Cyril Ramaphosa, is sneakily trying to delay the impeachment process once again. And the reason I say that is because last week, Friday, in the afternoon, he silently went and applied for an interdict against the impeachment committee so that they can't sit and start their processes. Now, there's a couple of questions I've got here. If you are an innocent individual that would like to have your day or your time in court, or in this case, in the impeachment committee, to tell everybody what actually transpired and that you are completely innocent, why would you try and get an interdict to try and stop it? Well, it seems that Cyril Ramaphosa is taking a page out of Jacob Zuma's book when it comes to avoiding and not having your day in court. And it's unfortunate because this is the same person that told all of us during a family meeting that he called that he wants all of this resolved quickly so that he can clear his name. And now what he's doing is delaying. So unfortunately, it seems that the president that 4 years ago already could have taken this to court to get clarity, decided just to let sleeping dogs lie because his cadres all voted that it shouldn't be sent to an impeachment committee. And now that the very same finding is ultimately here and should be used now he wants to act on it, which just tells you that there's a lot of skeletons in his closet that he doesn't want to come out. I mean, why ask for an interdict when they're going to just start with the security guards, perhaps with people that are knowledgeable on the case. But instead of letting the proceedings start, he wants that to stop now. And Newsday covered this, and we'll delve into it. But before we do, please be sure to subscribe. It's absolutely free. It won't cost you anything, as well as smashing the like button and sharing this video far and wide. It'll be greatly appreciated. All right, let's have a look at what Newsday has to say. All right, so Newsday ran with the headline, Cyril Ramaphosa fights for his life. And by the way, please go and follow Newsday. They've got quality journalism that aren't woke leftists or right-wing nutters. They just report on the news, which is what you would expect from a news agency. Unfortunately, not all of them do that. South African President Cyril Ramaphosa filed an urgent court application on Friday to stop the parliamentary impeachment process. This parliamentary impeachment process is aimed at probing allegations related to his farmgate scandal, court documents showed. Ramaphosa wants the High Court to first decide on a separate application he made to set aside the independent panel's findings of misconduct over the scandal. The Pala scandal, often referred to as Farmgate, is one of the most significant political controversies surrounding Ramaphosa. What began as a quiet housebreaking at his private game farm escalated to allegations of money laundering, institutional cover-ups, and abuse of state power. Ramaphosa maintained that the money, which he stated was $580,000 hidden in a couch, was the legitimate proceeds from selling buffalo to a Sudanese businessman. Yeah. Because, once you have a successful business transaction, the first thing you do is to hide that money in a couch. Makes perfect sense. However, the episode raised questions about why the money was hidden in furniture and whether he had declared it. The Constitutional Court revived impeachment proceedings against Ramaphosa last month, finding that a parliamentary vote to halt the proceedings in 2022 was invalid. The High Court is due to hear his case against the misconduct findings from the 2nd of September to the 4th of September 2026. Farmgate has been a major embarrassment for him as he came to power on a pledge to fight corruption and clean up the image of his African National Congress party. However, most political analysts expect him to survive if the impeachment process goes to a vote in Parliament. Now, I'm not going to read the rest because it's things that he already said. Alright, so just to summarize, there are two big things at play here. The first thing is that when the president addressed the nation, he said he was going to take the findings from the original Section 89 committee on review. He wants the court now to decide on whether or not they erred in their findings, because the findings is damning. So that's the first thing. Now, the second thing is that the impeachment committee has now been established according to what the Constitutional Court said they should do. But now the president is stepped in and said, no, 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 he doesn't want this impeachment committee to start, because if it starts, then what is the point of the findings being set aside? Now, a lot of people are arguing, well, let it run concurrently. And let's say you're halfway through and the Concord goes, okay, we agree with you, then the committee immediately dies. But if you find that the committee's report, the original Section 89 committee's report, is valid, then you haven't wasted 3 or 4 months, because the first time that this is going to be heard is only in September. So the committee is ready to go by the end of this month. And further to that, like, why would you not want to have your day in Parliament or in court? Why would you not want to address many questions that South Africans have? Namely, how did $580,000 end up in your couch? Why was it in your couch? Why was it dollars? Did you declare it to SARS? When it was stolen, why did you wait 40 days before telling anybody about it and then finally a case being opened? Because you sent your own security to go after him. You didn't phone the police. You phoned or told your own security to go after the people, which is also taking, the law into your own hands. So there's a lot of things that's wrong here and smells very fishy. And obviously, that is the reason why Cyril Ramaphosa doesn't want to have his day in front of this panel, because you can't answer it, because we all know the reason that the money was in the couch is because, in my opinion, Cyril didn't want to declare it. And is the $580,000 the only amount? How many times have this happened before? Was there other money that we're not aware of? These are the questions that South Africans just want the answer to. But Cyril doesn't want us to have the answers to that, because he didn't even make the initial report available to anybody. So most people in this country don't even know what is actually in that report that he has now taken to the Constitution. So at some point in time, the president has to take us into his confidence and tell us exactly what went on. Because I'll tell you one thing, an innocent person doesn't act this way. An innocent person would love everything to be in the public domain so that the public can make up their own minds. But what Cyril is doing is firstly hiding the initial report for 4 years. Then when the Concord comes out and says, no, that Section 89 committee was valid and you should now start an impeachment committee, now he's also taking that to court. And once the impeachment committee actually wants to start, he's also taking that to court. This is not something an innocent man does. I'm really sorry. If you want to explain yourself, then you have a golden opportunity and be in control of it to tell your side of the story. But you see, he's scared of witnesses being called that's going to expose all of these things. All the skeletons in the closet is going to come out. And of course, he himself as the president can be called to come and testify. And he is scared shitless of that, because he knows when that happens, I think he would rather resign than actually go and face this impeachment committee. So I would like to know what your thoughts are. Why do you think he's trying to do all of these things? Are we in the wrong? Is he allowed to have his privacy, even as the president of South Africa? With all of us knowing that Phala took place, and with us having many questions. And of course, with him hiding the report that is not public. There's a lot of things going on here. But, once again, Cyril Ramaphosa is just demonstrating that he is no better than Jacob Zuma. And many would argue that he has been the worst president that we have had in the history of this country. And that is saying a lot. So please let me know your thoughts. I'd like to know what you think about all of this. But as always, please be sure to smash that like button, share this video far and wide. Don't forget to subscribe. It's absolutely free. It's not going to cost you anything. However, if you'd like to contribute financially, you can do so by giving a super thanks. Look for the $ below, choose an amount. And you can also become a member to this channel by clicking the join button below, and that comes with its own perks. So that's pretty much all I got to say. Till later. Cheers and peace out.
my massacre. You don't even know me, but everybody see you say my massacre, my massacre. You don't even know me, but everybody see you say my massacre, my massacre.